second place, Darius the Janitor, which was actually my favorite hack. I loved it a lot. It was like every cheesy Christmas movie you've ever seen. You play as a janitor who kind of hates his job and is taken advantage of all the time, and people are mean to him. And you go to work, and it's like the same thing every day. And the story is so good. Each star is a different day, and all the stars are so similar. But there's some happy story stuff. It's very cheesy, and I've loved it. It's my favorite.
Yeah, wow. My ROM hack got second place in the Simple Flips ROM hack competition, and I'm super proud of that accomplishment. And to celebrate that, I decided to make this special video so that we can look behind the scenes in my ROM hack, Darius the Janitor. Now, before I get into this is going to spoil literally everything, so I recommend, if you haven't played this game already, you go do that right now. Anyways, let's get right into it. Alright, so let's talk about this place first. There's usually a message that gives you exposition, but since I'm in a saved file, it doesn't do that. So like I said, if you haven't played this already, I highly suggest you play it already. I'm not going to go over any of the lore. I might say why I added some lore, but you know what I'm saying. Alright, so originally, okay, I need to make this important first. This is important, I need to make this very clear. This game was really crunched, really rushed, and there's a lot of features that I wanted to add that I never ended up adding. So most of this video is just going to be talking about those because there wasn't a lot of time. If I would have had more time, this game would have been like a lot better and probably would have gotten first place. But there was a lot of stuff that I expected to get in but never did. So first of all, this house took me a whole day to model, which is quite interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I put a lot of detail into the models, and then I never ended up having to, and a lot of the stuff, like, I went in not knowing how to do. Like, I just kind of dived into new territory, just kind of overextending my boundaries. But so originally there was supposed to be an alarm clock to wake you right here, and it was supposed to be like beep beep, and it was gonna be a cork block. You could pick it up, then throw it at the wall out of anger and destroy your alarm clock. But that never made it in, which is really sad. It would have added a lot more comedic effect in. Yeah, so let's go in here. So now out in the city, another thing, the design of this road, you'll notice okay, first of all, let's do this in order. This is your bike, but obviously, this was originally supposed to literally look like a bike, but unfortunately I never got into adding it. I couldn't figure out how to add custom models, so this ended up being just the regular shell, which is disappointing to me anyways. So here's the Christmas tree in the center. You'll notice that the road is in a perfect square, or a perfect rectangle, not a perfect square. What am I saying? And there's like this weird roundabout sort of thingy. And the reason for this is because there's originally supposed to be cars going around the road, and I never did end up adding that, which is really unfortunate. Like, it was super cool, and I could have decorated the city more. I never did end up doing that. There's gonna be Christmas lights, but this was supposed to be like Christmas City. There's supposed to be like more NPCs. It was supposed to just be a lot more Christmas charm, but unfortunately, I just had to kind of do this half-baked area, which is but it's sort of Christmassy. At least it gives off the point. So yeah. If you're also wondering about the character you're playing as, well, this is Darius the mailman. I mean, this is, right now he's a janitor, but in the future he becomes a mailman, and this is based off like one of my other series, and this is just kind of like a spin-off, even though I haven't released the original game yet. So I'll put a link to that also in the description. Alright, so this is where it gets interesting. So this is where the main gameplay is. This is the school. Alright, so this is your employer. I'm not going to talk to him. Watch Simple Flips play it, or play it yourself if you want to do it. But so this looks like a custom model, right? But the thing is, there's absolutely no custom models in this entire game. I couldn't figure it out like in time, and it was just a complicated process. I was using a different software than normal, and I just never figured it out in time. But this is actually the cannon lid. Can you believe that? No, but this is just a retextured cannon lid. So the goal of this of my ROM hack is to basically pick up things and clean up messes in the school and get paid every single day. Now this is actually a tree that's just flattened. Let's see. I have to clean up after like school or homecoming or whatever. So this actual school, the city took the least amount of time. The school took the most amount of the time. But I need to show you something else. Notice how everything is like evenly lighted. Like in the normal 64, those lockers you see to the left of you would be darker, but their light doesn't change at all. And there's a glitch in like ROM Manager. It was like really confusing, and I was worried that it would like screw everything up, but somehow I managed to get through. And it kind of looks like a well-lit school, so I'll give it props for that. Now, let's see, one more task left. This is where all the story comes in. So this is like your log sheet. This is where you log your hours, which is just another task. And then this is like your journal entry for the previous day. So it's like what you wrote yesterday is what's in there. I'm not gonna read them all. You have to read them yourself. If you have to play this game yourself and read them. So I'm just gonna show off the other parts of the building really quick. Here's the gym, and let me go get my dollar bill, which is gonna end up looking like a star because they never replaced the star model, but you'll notice it's facing you, and I'll talk to you about that later. But for now, let's get it.
Here we go!
Let me also tell you about this area. So originally I wanted this is kind of overambitious if you hear about it, but I originally wanted this to be a, what do you call it, like a custom star select screen. Instead of like selecting the stars, I wanted it originally to say 5 days until Christmas, and then automatically on a timer go to the next area, and then when you get the star it'd say 4 days till Christmas, and so on and so forth. But I didn't have time, never ended up doing it. So this is anticlimactic, but this is just to shorten the video. I'm gonna skip to Christmas Day. You saw the gameplay, so I'm gonna spoil it. I hope you played this game. If not, well, joke's on you. This is where your bike gets stolen. But this is the day you marry Princess Peach. And yes, since I skipped over this, basically the story develops, and basically you fall in love with the girl over the 5 days of working at the school. So the princess had been kidnapped by your employer. Yep, surprise, surprise. I hope you played the ROM hack, and if you didn't, joke's on you. But whatever. So I want to tell you about a few more things before I get to the final boss. So if I wall jump up here, Oh, finally. Took me about like 10 tries to do that wall jump, but I finally did it. So, Simple Flips actually got on top of the school and didn't find anything. I was hoping he'd find this Easter egg, but he never ended up finding it. But if I just crank the camera just 45 degrees to the right, you'll see a interesting shape. Now, that was just a little Easter egg. Simple Flips never found it, but it really didn't add anything to the game. It was just something funny if Simple Flips ended up finding it. Alright, so this is the final boss place, or whatever you want to call it, and yeah, there's a few more things I wanted to say. So, let's see. Oh yeah, I only had one other thing. So, you saw the gameplay was mostly picking up things, right? You saw like, oh, wow, there's a mess, just press Z. But it used to be, well, actually my original plans were gonna be, you were gonna actually take like a broom and sweep dust, or take a mop and mop up the puddle, and like you'd actually have to like do a mini game if you like got to the plunger. Yeah, I know, too ambitious, but yeah, I never ended up doing that because I was on a time constraint, and it was also a little too complicated for me at the time. Probably still is, but yeah, let's go to the final boss. Now, originally I was gonna do something else cheesy, and I was just gonna put the ending like here, but I wanted something epic to like end off on. Like, a lot of times you can really get people's votes if you do something super ambitious. So before you go fight the boss, I need a Simple Flips never saw this either, but so you're supposed to sign up or whatever, and then you go to the sign, journal entry number 300. Yes, yesterday I talked to Peach again, and guess what? We got engaged, and we're getting married on Christmas Day in front of a giant blah blah blah. But so that's Darius's happiness, and then, this is your employer. You will not quit your job. You signed the contract. Come to the center of the gym to receive your punishment. So Simple Flips never ended up reading that, unfortunately, but it was just a little extra thing. Let me just show this area really quick. Alright. Now I want to show one more thing Simple Flips never ended up seeing. So if I go over here, I know it's one of these classrooms. Merry Christmas. Okay, he saw this room. There's one more room I need to show off. Let's see, where is it? Is it this one? I don't think so. No, it's this one right here. So I don't know if you can read it, but you can, I know what I wrote, but in the comment section you can say what you think is written on there. You can see like what's that even smaller text down there. Like, you might be able to decipher the first line, but I don't know, you'll have to really analyze it. Anyways, I'll pin whoever deciphers it, which I don't think anyone will. I'll pin their comment, or I'll just love it. I don't know, either one. But I'm going to the pipe now. So yeah. Now you're gonna be surprised. I'm not gonna. It's harder for me to talk when there's music, but basically you won't be able to grab Bowser's tail, and the reason for that is actually Simple Flips was custom ASM. And it was actually lucky on me that you couldn't grab his tail. And it was actually because I actually overrode it, like with different code for like the janitor task thing or whatever. And somehow it works, so it's pretty interesting. Take a watch.
You can't quit your job. You will never have a love life. You will live like this for the rest of your life. Exodus is horrible. Hi, I'm not your employer. I am Compass. You cannot keep fiancé. No dating jobs. Nothing to be. Digital getting out. This foundation. Defense. Stuck on hell in school. Will never. Just fun. Prepare to die.
So you have to get rid of the anchors. I'm dead. Alright, so you see how the game crashed? Well, yeah. So the reason that happened is because I had to change one of the warps to, so there's only in the final boss in the original game, there's only 2 warps. One that leads you to death, and yeah, there's 1 warp. There's like the spawn warp, and I don't remember, but there wasn't enough to, you could either only die or you could only win. So I had to sacrifice that, and it doesn't really matter since it's the end of the game and you can just reset the ROM. Luckily, I have a handy save state. The final dollar. Ah, I'm dead. I'm dead again. I'm dead again. And the school's dead.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
So yeah, that was Darius the Janitor devlog, all the behind the scenes stuff. And the last thing was, someone did complain that this ending screen was kind of boring and lame, and I actually agree. He complained that there was no wedding stuff, and I would have put wedding stuff, but I was really in a hurry, so I just conjured up a quick picture. So it was just this simple thing, and yeah, but there was a lot of stuff I never ended up adding that I wanted to add. I wanted it to be like a whole like complicated amazing hack, but it just never ended up being that way. But yeah, although it did get second place, so I'm not complaining. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.